Mike is hot.
Mike is hot. Video's hot too, eh?
Hey.
You gotta give me the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Rob.
Oh.
5, 4, 3. You know what I mean? All right. Hey, everybody. How's it going? It's been a couple weeks. Let me turn my volume down on this thing so I don't hear an echo. This is Zulu Shopping Network with your host, Ethan Lind, and co-host Rob Seamount on the control board.
On the ones and twos. As
doing
they
the
say
things.
in the industry.
Possibly Matt will be in, but I don't know. Said he would. Not here.
He's a busy man.
Can't wait any longer.
He's got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. It's been a couple weeks. I hope everyone had a nice Christmas. I know we couldn't really go out and do much, but I hope that you had some time with someone, at least, some of your family or something. Or if you don't like your family, you just enjoy some time by yourself. So I don't know. We have a couple things to go over today. You can see some new releases here. There's not actually a ton. Game companies usually don't release a lot at the start of a new year or the end of an old year, I guess. I don't know what you call it. But there's a few things out, and so we're going to go over those things. We might talk about, maybe if Matt can come in, we'll talk about some plans for the new year, and we'll go over some Kickstarter items that will be coming out probably within the next few months.
Ooh, Kickstarter.
Yeah, so let's just start off with, we actually don't have any brand new games per se. Both game titles we have are actually expansions. So we'll get into that, I guess. So the first thing we have here is Seven Wonders Duel Agora. Ooh, that is bright.
Yeah, let me see if I can.
So, as usual, we will
fix things on the fly.
Fix it on the fly. So it's not as shiny in real life. I promise. Oh, that's better. There you go. We'll hold it up because it's kind of small. Yeah. I was get. There it is. Okay. So we got this expansion here, right? And I'm pretty sure most people have played Seven Wonders Duel. Not everyone. I played it probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So I'm not totally up to snuff on the rules, but I do remember that, first of all, it's a two-player game, and it's one of the top-rated, if not the top-rated two-player game. And it's also basically a two-player version of the game Seven Wonders. It's not a direct, exact transfer, but they did a really cool job, so it's got kind of a... I feel like it's a balanced game. I do know that each player has like 4 wonders that they're trying to build, and they require like resources and stuff like that. And each player's drafting cards that are in like a kind of a pyramid shape, so you only have access to the bottom row.
It was actually, when I was doing research on this one, it looked very fascinating the way you selected cards.
Yeah.
It was that kind of like you were opening stuff up by getting stuff.
Yeah, so if you've ever played Pyramid Solitaire, where you have, cards, it's like 1 card and then 2 cards, and then 5 cards or 4 cards, whatever, 3 cards.
An amount of
numbers.
Cards.
So the more you go, there's more cards each row. And in this game, some of the cards are flipped over, so you can see what every other row is, and then the other cards, I think, flip over as you uncover them or something like that. So players take turns drafting cards and playing those cards. Some cards are free. It's just like, boom, now I produce lumber, or now I get lumber, now I get money, whatever it is. Or other cards are like, I cost something, but I have a cool reward. There's different types of cards that I'm not going to go too far into it, but basically they do different things, or they have a different, niche that they work on. And players are pretty much just taking turns trying to do things like build buildings, work on their military. Stronger military can sway the game, or build their wonders, which are worth a ton of points.
In the research I was doing for this one, you either have a certain number of turns, or someone can end the game prematurely by having a military victory or a culture victory. Yeah,
there's this big thing called the conflict track, where basically it's either one player is either winning it or it's right in the middle. So it's kind of a tug of war system. And then I know you go through 3 ages. Each age is a new set of cards, and the cards get better each age. And one of the kind of cool things is, as you go through the each age, there will be cards that are like, it costs, okay, so in age 1, this card costs 1 stone, and then you have a better card in age 2 or 3, maybe this will cost 3 stone. Or if you've built a card with this symbol is free, and so you just get it. So you can kind of, it's hard to just plan, okay, I'm going for this kind of card because you don't know with the randomness of how they're laid out or what your opponent might do. But you can kind of try to build your way to get cheap cards in the future if you're playing right. But this game is really cool. I don't want to say it's complex, but it's definitely got a decent amount of stuff going on in it. So now the new expansion is out. It's already doing well. It's a $25 expansion. It's still 2 players. Age is 10 and up, and it's about 30 minutes. Probably going to be a little longer the first time you play. So Rob, actually, what's going on with this game?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So I looked into this a little bit because I found it very fascinating. So what you're seeing right now is the front and back of the box.
Oh, okay.
Now you mentioned the conflict track. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there in the middle. But if you'll notice, there's that. Actually, we're going to go ahead and switch to this next image. So what this game adds is Parliament. So you have
like a Senate.
Yes, you have senators. Actually, that's exactly what you get. The 2 people on the front, and okay. Appropriately, there are 2 new card types in this one. You add in senators and they had a fun name for them. It's not influencers. It's agents, essentially.
Conspirators.
Conspirators. That's the one. So your conspirators and your senators are going to be shuffled in with the rest of your cards, and then as you're going, as you're picking up your other cards, instead of picking up like resources, you can pick up senators, and that allows you to. They'll have a zone that they can. You can either put your people into the Senate, or you can move them around in within that region. Now, this expansion increases the number of win conditions, so you can either have your military win condition, you can have your culture win condition, and now, if someone controls all 6 regions of the Senate, they have a Senate victory. And I think a Parliament victory.
Wow.
It's a Senate or Parliament. Either way.
Doesn't matter.
The moral of the story is, it adds a new victory condition, it adds new cards, and then even more than that, who are the nefarious people again?
The conspirators.
Conspirators.
They conspire.
There are plots that you can create that will do all kinds of fun things. So you select them, but you select them face down. You get them by getting your conspirators.
Oh wow!
You then have to prepare your plot. So you'll slide a card underneath there at the beginning of your turn. If you have any that have been prepared, you can activate them, and crazy stuff happens. It's a lot of fun, interesting politicking. Additionally, any region that you have, if you have the most influence there, you'll get the sort of power from that place. You can kind of see it in the image here, but those are replaceable. So every time you play, it'll be different things that you'll have.
Oh, you mean on the things on the outer part of the Senate?
Yep.
Yeah.
So those will change every game that you play.
It looks like some of them are upside down. Those are
those ones are sort of. So no, those. So some are played exposed. Some are played. So you don't know.
Kind of like the way the cards are.
Exactly. So honestly, like having never played Seven Wonders Duel, it looks like a really fun expansion. So.
This is literally like we are constantly running out or running low on this game. Like I don't know how many copies of Seven Wonders Duel we sold, but it's been a ton. So this is a no-brainer. There's another expansion for this game called Pantheon.
Yeah.
It did okay. I don't really know much what that adds, but this one's gotten a way more hype than the previous one, so hopefully this one is better than Pantheon. I don't even know if Pantheon's bad or not. I've never played it. It seemed like when we had the expansion, a lot of people weren't really buying it. They just kind of bought the base game and were good with that. So this one actually sounds like it adds a pretty cool element to this game. So I don't know. But, I mean, yeah, that's Seven Wonders Duel. Super popular game. If you've never tried it and you're at home, it's a great 2-player game that maybe you want to play. Any questions? I don't think so. I gotta give him time to react. We need a Rob cam, I'll tell you that much, man.
I mean, we could technically have one.
We might. It's weird to just sit here and they're just looking at me while you're talking.
Well, I figure I'm just
really good at it.
I got a mask covering most of my face, so they can hear my voice, and that's the important part. Just you know what it is? I'll take a picture of my eyes, and I'll just put it up there so they can see. I'll just kind of like Matt's face when he creeps in
that
sometimes.
Wouldn't be creepy at all.
Wait, speaking of which. Nope.
Oh my lord!
So I didn't actually see that. Let me get the smaller one. Nope. Hey, you know what? Let's have
my God.
Big Matt will hop in there for a sec.
Where is he?
He's right behind you. He's going to get you.
Okay, get him out of here. Goofy.
He's gone. All right.
All right, so that's Agora. 7 Wonders Agora. On sale now for $24.99. Zulu's Board Game Cafe. Should be on our website. Now it's on the floor. Next, we have some more, as usual. We always like to show some miniatures because they keep cranking out miniatures.
Oh yeah.
I love anything made out of plastic. I love miniatures, especially
and these are a lot of fun because we've gotten to chat with these guys a couple times.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially if they're Marvel based, and these guys are essentially local, even though they're a huge company now.
I'm going to transition you to the top down because
the
green screen's fighting me a little.
Dang you, green screen.
Speaking of
dang you, lighting.
Yeah.
I think our setup got worse. What happened?
Here, give me a sec. Tell us
give me a sec.
Tell us a little bit about
Everybody take a breather.
Marvel Crisis Protocol. What can you tell me about it?
All right. So, Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah.
Marvel Crisis Protocol is I'd call it a miniature skirmishy game where it's not like these gigantic battles. It's more like 4-on-5 or 4-on-4, 5-on-5, 6-on-6, or any combination thereof of superheroes battling it out in cities and space and wherever you want them to be. But they make stuff specifically for that, play mats and stuff and terrain for cities and stuff like that. So you can have Avengers, X-Men, Asgardians. I don't even know, Spider-Man. There's all kinds of stuff in there. So there's all the Marvel universes coming together fighting. If you ever played HeroClix, it's not necessarily play like HeroClix, but the same idea of having heroes, except these ones you get to put together, and they have a lot more abilities and stuff like that. So it's kind of a miniatures game / board game, I want to say. It's not a board game, but it kind of has that board gamey feel that you can play it on a smaller area. About a 3x3 is plenty of space to play it with. It's got some dice. Each character will have, it doesn't show on here, but each character will have like a character card with all their abilities. They have to do things like generate power so they can use those abilities. And it's got a pretty cool system. So, and they've been consistently putting out more heroes and more characters, and more villains even. Every single month it feels like they're coming out with something new.
Yeah, their stock is huge. And with you mentioned villains. One of the things that's very nice about this game is if you're like, I really like what was the army you're building? Thanos's
Black Order,
Yeah, so you can get Proxima Knight, all them.
You can use certain teams together. There are actually cards in this game that they're like, I think they're like team up cards. I can't remember exactly what they're called, but if you have certain characters, these cards will work better or something like that. So there are things where, like, if you have this character and this character, you can play this card and they do their team up move or something like that. So I think it's kind of cool.
And really good quality miniatures. Like the details are really, and the poses are really fun too.
Yeah, they're not.
Actually, I just remembered.
They're not like cheap miniatures. Like they're solid. Like they're good hard plastic miniatures, like you'd see from a Games Workshop, and they have good detail on them and stuff like that. So they do these things where they'll put out one character, like they put out She-Hulk, and then they do the one where you get two characters. So they got Angela and the Enchantress. Those are both daughters of...
Is it Angela?
Asgard. It might be Angela. I don't know. I don't know as much about her, but I do know that they're both like Asgardians. It says on the box that they're the firstborn of Odin and Freya. So, Freya, Angela, or Angel, whatever her name is. She was kidnapped by Heaven, which is a person, I guess.
Okay.
Heven, during the war between Heaven and Asgard. Anyway, more in there. So anyway, new characters. We have a large selection in our store of this game if you're ever interested in, I like Marvel, I want to paint some miniatures, or I need a new hobby, or if you're already into this game, awesome.
Yeah. They got the classics, they got some more obscure characters, and that's what I've really liked about their range they've done so far, is they've got a good range.
They have a mix. They tend to put out
Marvels.
2 or 3 packs each time, and they'll do like guys that all make sense together basically. But even the core starter is great. It's like $100. You get 10 dudes. You get all the stuff that you need to play. You get all the measuring sticks and dice and all that stuff. And it's a really good value because you're looking at even if you just counted the heroes, you're getting it's $10 a hero. Where these are closer to 20 and 25 a hero. So
the starter box also comes
cool.
with buildings, cars.
Yeah,
like
you get more than that. You get a couple cars, you get buildings that you can throw. Like you could physically throw them, but I mean in the game you can throw them at guys, which is really fun.
Yeah.
To just Hulk smash someone with a shipping container or something or a building. It's pretty cool. They got all kinds of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can also make your own terrain, and basically each terrain just has a size, so you have to just assign it a size. Like a garbage can be a 1, and a building would be like a 4 or 5.
Alright.
So pretty cool.
Speaking of miniatures, I think we got some more minis there as well.
We do. So WizKids, many of you may be familiar with. They make a lot of miniatures. What camera am I on? Top down?
No, you're so the
this is me. Okay,
live
sorry. Here we
live.
go.
I finally gave him a monitor to look at, and it's.
I didn't know which
one.
Oh, is it the one that says live?
Yes.
See, I'm good at this. All right, so WizKids makes their miniatures. They also, I would say, last year started making this thing called 4D terrain, and they made these larger sets that were, I don't know, $80 or something like that. I actually don't know how much these are.
Are you talking about the Warlock tiles, or?
No, not the Warlock tiles. So WizKids makes like 4 or 5 lines now. But one of the ones that came out recently was the 4D setting. So everything is painted. Some things have lights on them and stuff like that, or they... I wonder if these move. I'm not even sure.
I mean, I feel like we could probably crack this guy open and have
a
look.
Let's check it out.
Well, here. I
Do you have a sword or anything?
I got my cat skinner.
You got your cat
I really
skinner.
shouldn't call it that.
Okay. Oh, my Lord. Let's go to the top-down view.
I was gonna say.
If you're...
Don't look at the knife. Look at the
If
mini.
you're Dothraki, you might have one of these. Jesus. All right, here we go. Oh, it worked.
Yeah, it's because it's a knife.
That's... Okay, sure.
So fun fact, that is apparently for linoleum. The linoleum there.
Linoleum blade. Look at that. I'm opening things. Yeah. Unboxing.
So the reason that we're opening these, he's having a struggle. The reason that we're opening these is because these are going to be used for our D&D services.
Ready, catch.
Yep. Ah!
Okay, ready, catch.
Oh no. So we have hosted D&D over Zoom. Man, why does it keep adjusting? Give me a
Can you make it less bright?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I keep telling it to stop, and it keeps going.
Stop being bright.
I want to do it my way. We'll start. Yeah, pull
Oh,
some stuff
it's
out.
like, jeez Louise.
Ooh, that good audio.
There we go. Oh, I'll take him out of the box. Here we go. See, easy removal. All right. Oh, they smell so good. So look at that. Here, I'm gonna take them off this board because it's like that's reflecting a lot. There, we can see much better. So we got some like barricade-looking things. I don't know if they go this way or this way, but either way, they stand up and they look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, for just like a out-of-the-box painted, they look pretty good, honestly. Oh, this probably goes on here and does something. It looks like it attaches to something.
Does it? Oh, are you sure that doesn't attach to the back of the... Oh, maybe it does.
Well, I'm going to figure it out as I go. Look, it goes on this thing.
No, that's what the ballista sits on.
Oh. All right. Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, this is like that thing that Bard shot the Smaug with in The Hobbit.
It is a ballista, yes.
But it needs a...
Stand?
What's the name of that arrow? Iron arrow?
Oh, yeah.
Dark arrow?
Like black iron or something?
I don't know. The sweet arrow.
Oh, that actually looks really good. I'll be honest. I'm enjoying it.
Get in there!
Alright, while you struggle with that, I'm going to add more stuff to
Some assembly required just before you... Okay, I recommend putting that part on first. So look at that. So this thing... Oh, man. So let me show this thing off first. Hold on. Get out of my space! Okay. So now we're going to play with toys. This is the part of the show where we play with toys.
Yeah.
So this thing has 3D articulation.
Woo!
Or 360 degrees. So you can actually aim it wherever you want. It goes up and down. to an extent, and it is loaded with an arrow. However, it does not fire an arrow like an old G.I. Joe action figure. Probably for safety reasons, and you'd probably also lose it day one.
Oh, this is great.
But it is pretty awesome. And then here's the little mustachioed man.
Oh.
We still don't have a close-up cam, but maybe he operates it. He's got a sweet hammer and an apron on, so he's ready to go.
Well, honestly, so that is one of the things that I really like that they bothered with, because one of the problems you run into a lot of times is, like, if you don't have the... Oh, I can zoom. All right, I got the focus ready. You want to zoom in up again?
What? Oh, mustache?
All right, ready? And pulling focus. Oh, look at him.
Yeah.
That is nice. So, having an operator for your siege equipment is something that I think is sort of often neglected. So the fact that they
they don't work by themselves
is really nice.
I wonder what his hammer's for, though. Is he like hammer the?
It's so you pull back the thing,
and
then you gotta knock the control mechanism out so you can fire it.
Pretty nifty. So you get the ballista. I'm sorry, what, do you want to say?
Oh, no, you're good.
You get the big ballista, you get the dude, you get these little spike barricade looking things, you get these other like wooden barricades, and some extra arrows, pretty much just for looks, I'd imagine, because it's like a whole bundle of them. I don't really know where they go. I think they're just for looks.
Yeah, because you can steal the arrows, then the whole thing becomes useless.
Absolutely. So that's a cool little set. So these, I imagine, are in the $40, $50 range. I'm not totally sure.
I don't know,
but they are. They feel like they're around that. So the main thing is the ballista, and then the other one is the trebuchet.
Yes.
Almost like catapult, like a noob. So let's get the ballista out there. Ooh. And we have the trebuchet. Also doesn't
flop
fire.
It on the side so we can. Oh, look at that! That is a piece of engineering. It is really big.
It's actually got a lot of cool, like it looks like it works, even though it doesn't actually work. I wish it would move. So this one's not as mobile as the other one.
Yeah.
Which honestly is a little disappointing, but at the same time,
the amount of work
it doesn't really need to move.
Also,
it'd probably just be way more expensive if they did that. But fully painted, ready to rock. And it also comes with more of these
little spikes.
Spiky doos. It comes with some, it looks like stone piles.
Mm-hmm. It also comes with...
And a singular stone.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what you do with that, but you got one. It also kind of looks like an old, like a crunch berry or something that fell under the couch. And it's been there for a minute. And then you got an orc dude with a mohawk and a hammer.
I'm ready to focus.
Oh, we're doing the close-up again? Okay.
Yeah.
Totally worth it.
Honestly, the fact that... So I actually really like that they used a half-orc for this one. Or an
action posed.
But yeah. Now this is, again, they got that operator, which is just nice. You're basically on yourself right now. Oh, you're moving around. It's hard to focus.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to make your life hard.
Okay.
So he's ready to swing that hammer. All right, let's get out of there.
Yeah.
He's ready to do his thing.
Oh right. Now I was going to find...
All right, that's the part of the show where we get to play with toys. Oh. And by we, I mean me.
Yeah. I'm just back here doing work.
Okay. Come buy those toys.
So these ones, so the ballista is $39.99.
Nailed it. I bet the catapult's $50, huh?
Is it? It's, again, a trebuchet.
I bet the trebuchet is $49.99.
So much egg on your face right now. How can you even... How can you...
I'm not angry.
No, I said egg. Oh, and because... So, we've got a little mess there.
I just like toys.
Guess what I have?
How much is the trebuchet?
I'm getting to it. I have to give something for the people to look at. Oh, look at that.
Oh, they're like in an actual forest.
Yeah, it's surprising what you can do with just a little bit of a backdrop.
How much
also,
can you get?
This word is why every time someone's just like, oh, well, just sound it out. I'm just like, I don't like that at all.
Trebuchet?
Yep, that's the one. The French language works very hard to make my life more difficult. Anyway, let's not worry about that.
It's a trebuchet. Tree bucket. I used to call them tree buckets when I was a kid.
I mean, it is a tree bucket. It's a tree. It launches things.
There you go.
So these bad boys, even the tree bucket trebuchet is only $39.99. You get yourself the trebuchet. You get the.
They're both $39.99.
They're both $39.99. That's a steal.
Dang, man.
That's magical. And if you call now, you can have 37 $20 payments that will then be returned to you after 5 years of investment. No, hear me out. Over the course of an amount of time. You know what? They don't pay us the big bucks to be smart. They pay us the big bucks to know what we're doing.
For one easy payment of $39.99 plus tax, it can be yours. So,
fine.
I think that's the end of the toy segment, right?
Yeah.
Playing with toys. See, we need cool little graphics.
Ooh, that would be nice. I need to get paid more.
If only we had someone that went to school for that.
Was that you?
Yeah.
I just didn't even know that. See, I learned stuff about you. Look at us. We're learning stuff together.
Learning with friends. All right, so we'll go into our last game, and then we'll move on to probably Kickstarter. I don't know where Matt is.
Hopefully he's not dead.
I don't know.
He's a busy man.
I'll do what I can do. No, he probably was like, I gotta go, and then started talking to someone, and
he's
45 minutes later. Oh, I'm late. So whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna transition to the pretty picture.
Oh, look at that. Oh, so I don't need the box? All right.
Yeah, well, the camera isn't liking it. You can do it on the top down.
If you have, yeah, sure. You're good with that. We can talk about it. All right, so Anachrony Fractures of Time. This just came out from Kickstarter. I don't believe there's a retail version yet. We got, 12 copies or something like that.
Only 12?
We only got 12. It is actually my fault. I meant to get more, and they had like an infinity box and some other things, and I totally just missed the deadline. So sometimes I put in like a minimum order, and then I update it later. I totally blanked. So all we got was the expansion, and I didn't get the infinity box. So I'm definitely kicking myself. So I'm sorry. I already reached out to them and tried to get some, and it didn't happen. But for those of you that haven't played Anachrony, it is essentially at its core a worker placement, like resource collecting, action taking sort of game. But that is like bare bones. When I looked at this game, Board Game Geek, it's got an 8.1 which out of 10, which is really good. It's 1 to 4 players. It's about a 2 to 3 hour game, 15 plus, and the weight is a 3.99 out of 5, which is really high. So that means, and honestly, I don't think it's necessarily super hard. There's just a lot of moving pieces in this game. Like, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot you can do. So the first time you open it up, it's like going to be overwhelming. But like most worker placement games, once you understand what the actions are, they're really not that complex. And I could be wrong because I haven't actually played this game. I've just spent some time looking at it, and I'm actually going to try to play a game because it sounds amazingly fun to me. I love worker placement a lot in any kind of action-taking stuff. So the cool thing about this game is it's like it's sci-fi. It's supposed to be like 26th century. You have these operators or workers or whatever they're called. I'm not really sure. I didn't really read the lore of the game, so I'm not really sure what their goal is. I suppose it's to further humanity or something. But you have workers that have 3 different specializations, and then there's like so you have your engineers, you have your scientists, and you have they're called administrators, and they're kind of like your talkie guys. I don't know.
Diplomats?
Yeah, something like that. And then you have the geniuses who can do anything. So there's unlike most worker placement games, which is like, I have a guy, he goes here, good to go. Sometimes you have to have the right guy. It might say, this action, scientists can't go here. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to recruit people. They're scientists. They can't talk to people. You need the administrator. Or it might be like, you want to build this building. Cool, I'll use a scientist. Or, I have an engineer. Let me use an engineer, and it's cheaper for him. It costs less for him because he's an engineer. So
you're saying is your workers do matter.
Your workers absolutely matter. They're the way you use them and how you use them can vastly increase the end result of your gameplay. Also, you need to use them all, or you want to use them all because you want to. They're going to go anyway. Like there's actually a thing where they get tired or they're active, and there's all these kind of weird mechanics that I think are thrown in that make it more complex. So it's got a cool spin on worker placement that I've actually never played a game like that. That I can think of. There's another cool thing where like each player has their own area, and that's where you can send your workers. But there's also other areas that are like out in the wasteland of the world or whatever's going on. But you can't go out there unless you have an exosuit. So you have to make these exosuits, which there's cardboard versions and there's also plastic miniature versions. And your workers go in the exosuits, and then they can go out and take those actions as well. So you have to build these exosuits, which also are only for one turn each time, I think.
so you're kind of really fast.
I guess it takes a toll. So you got guys going in exosuits to go out and branch out and do other actions that aren't easily available to you, and all the players have access to. What else we got? We got.
So one of the things, the name is kind of interesting, and it kind of reminded me of something. Do you know the Society for Creative Anachronism?
No.
So
I don't know a lot of things.
Anachrony is a plural noun.
Oh, what's up, Chris?
So the plural noun is anachronies. It describes a discrepancy between the order of events in a story and the order in which they are presented. An example of an anachrony is a flashback or a flash forward.
So that actually makes sense because the theme is based on time travel, actually, where you there's actually actions you can take where you have your guys travel through time. Like you could do something like travel. I think you could have them travel back in time, and they're collecting a resource like water, and then you could that action might cost water or something like that. It's blown my mind. So but you can actually use the water that you acquired from that to pay for that action because it's time travel. So like you didn't have the water to do the action, but because you went back and did the action, you did have the water. I don't know, man. Yeah. Crazy time travel stuff. But also, I don't know exactly how it happens, but there's some kind of track where you can potentially create a paradox, and those are bad.
So, what paradoxes are bad?
They're bad, yeah. So it's got that cool thing. Now, what I thought was really interesting was like that, and that's just a tip of the iceberg of this game. There's a lot more, like the mechanics. That's pretty much it. But there's a lot more going on, like what each space does and how you do certain actions. But the whole point is to talk about fractions of time. So in fractions of time, which I thought was interesting on Board Game Geek. And Anachrony was an 8.1, and now with Fractions of Time, it's a 9.0. And let me tell you, a lot of games, like if you are 7.5 and above, it's a good game. A 9 is like I don't see a lot of games hit 9. It's pretty rare. Still 1 to 4 players, so it didn't add any players. The game actually gets a little bit longer. It seems like it increased in time a little bit, and the weight went up to a 4.2. So. And I don't think it got harder. I think that now there's just more you can do, which one of the main new mechanics is called Blink. So in a worker placement game, let's say I got my guy, and I don't know if you can even see it, but you place him on the spot. It says you get this or you do this. You do that action. With a Blink, you can, or then he's done for the round, right? He's there. That's his job. You can actually make the worker go to another spot, which not only lets you take a second action with that worker, but it also uncovers that space. And if it was a space where only one guy can go, now someone else can go there. Or if it's a community space, it doesn't really matter. But so you're freeing up a space and you're getting a second action with a worker. It does have a cost though, where there is a glitch sort of mechanic where too many times or bad things can happen and then spaces can get glitched out, and then basically the reward is not as good when you go there in the future, or maybe it's not even worth going there anymore.
Interesting. So you can, by being greedy, you can destroy parts of the place.
Yeah, you've time traveled too much, so the more you use it, I think the worse off. Also, each player has a board, from what I understand, where that lets you know how to blink or what it costs. Like it costs these things called like fusion cores or something like that. I don't know. I think I wrote it down, but my brain doesn't work. Flux cores, excuse me. So it also adds this. It adds a new faction called the what are they called? That's not their name. This is why I write stuff down so that I can't find it. Man, I don't know. There's a new faction.
Well, their miniatures look really cool.
You know what? It's on the back of the box.
So what we have up on the screen right now is some examples of the miniatures that these guys come with. And this doesn't show it, which makes me kind of sad, but there's little grooves on the top of them where you can put your little cardboard jobbers to show who's piloting these exosuits.
It's pretty rad. So the new faction is the Path of Unity, which now that I found it, I don't know if it really matters. But
it matters.
From what I understand, there's different factions, and each ones have, I think there's a symmetrical side, so nothing's different, or there's an asymmetrical side, so each has like a different goal or something like that. It adds a new exosuit. There's different exosuits in the game. I'm not sure I think they're just cosmetic for each faction, but I'm not sure. And then they added a new exosuit called the Paladins, which look really cool. Like I said, I like plastic. Now you're getting a new board, a new area called the Valley, or it's called okay, I'm definitely gonna screw this up. Amphithnia Valley.
Sure.
And that's where you get the flux cores, and then as a new type of worker, that's like able to get those flux cores for you, and the flux cores in turn allow you to use the blink actions.
Is that the nice gentleman on the cover?
Yeah, the guy with the mask and purpley eyes, sort of things. It has a new reworked solo mode called the Chronosis. I never played solo mode, so I don't know what's reworked about it, but it says on the back reworked solo mode, so there you go. And then it says it has a variable anomalies module. I also don't know what the heck that is, but it is on there, and if you play the game, maybe you know what that means. So yeah, that's my amazing explanation of this expansion. Anyway, it's gotten great reviews. I'm actually trying to set up a game right now, trying to find... I know a guy who has this game, and it's all painted up, and I'm super looking forward to playing it, because after watching a bunch of videos on it, I'm like, dang, this looks awesome. I've actually wanted to play it for a few... It came out, what, 2017, I think? The original one, and it's been on my list, and now it's... I think it just moved out the list, because it sounds really, really fun. Unfortunately...
The doing research on these
unfortunately, the base game is really hard to get. I don't even know if we have any. I think we might have one in stock or two in stock. They actually split up the game into smaller expansions, so you have like the base game, what they call the Essential Edition. They have another expansion-y thing, and then they have the exosuits if you want miniatures instead of cardboard. So
it's kind of cool. Who doesn't like minis?
Yeah, and I think that was just kind of a way to keep costs down. Instead of having a game that's $65 or $70, they broke them down into smaller, like $50, $40 games. So I don't know, whatever it is, but I'm sure they'll make. My guess is they'll make more of the base game as this comes out in retail. Hopefully, we'll get a reprint, and we'll have that in stock. So there it is, Anachrones Fractures of Time, and check it out, Mind Clash Games. Okay, new release section or segment done.
What about so new that they don't exist yet?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Kickstarter. As that game I just showed you was from Kickstarter, we've been doing for maybe a year and a half now. We've been backing Kickstarter games as a retailer, getting them in, and selling them to people that come here.
Now, if I remember correctly, Kickstarter, a lot of Kickstarters actually have a retail option. So if retailers want to get involved in a project so they can help get it to people.
So here's the thing. Kickstarter has massively blown up as a way to get a board game created. And not only get a board game created, but get the best version of that game created, and usually get it cheaper than you would had they made it and had to go through all this manufacturing. So instead of a game getting made, going through distribution and all these other channels and having a company pick it up and buy it, like it costs them $5 to make a copy. By the time it gets to retail, it's $80 game, you know what I mean? And it's bananas. So now they can actually give you an $80 game, or give you a game for $80, and it's like $150, $200 worth of stuff if it was in the store. And then they'll generally make a retail version, which is, cheaper, but doesn't have all the cool goodies, the upgrades and stuff like that. Or you have to buy them in addition. So most people probably bought back something on Kickstarter, but if you haven't, easy concept. Someone wants to make something, you're like, cool, I want that. You back it at whatever level, whatever pledge level you want, and in a year, 2, 3 years, depending on how long the project is, you'll get that thing. Yay. What we do is a lot of board game companies of these guys will make games. They'll make a retail version. I shouldn't say a retail version, excuse me. They'll have a retail pledge level. So people like us can pledge, and our minimum pledge is, hey, you have to buy at least 6 or something like that, and you're just committing to a higher level. So we'll buy anywhere between 60 and sometimes over 100 copies of a game. It just depends on what it is, how popular it's going to be. And as it's getting more popular, we'll buy more. So usually I'll buy, if a game's worth buying, I'm going to get at least 12, 24 copies. And, we're trying to, like before it was kind of, hey, we'll sell a few here and there. And we're trying now to grow that and get more people into it. Not just like, hey, it's kind of a thing. Like, it's not really something you find on our shelves a lot of the time, because a lot of these games have so many pieces, and sometimes they have multiple boxes and they take up a lot of space. So it's difficult to display in your store. So this is something more we're trying to transition over to our website. And if you go check our Kickstarter pre-order option on our website, you can actually see the Kickstarter games we have available. Now, I will say there are more that we need to still get on our site, and by we I mean me. But it's actually a lot of work to get, figure out pricing, figure out shipping, all that stuff, and it takes time, which haven't had a lot of, honestly, due to Christmas. But
what,
hopefully
300 packages a day being sent.
Hopefully we're at that point now where we can do some of that stuff. Yay! So what that means is we're going to have more Kickstarter stuff up, and the idea is to sell the games basically for the same price or close to the same price Kickstarter does. It really depends on what they charge us and what we can do, but try to charge about the same price plus factoring in the shipping costs. So if for not shipping to you, but what it would cost to ship us the games. So say a game on Kickstarter is $100 and shipping it to us would cost $10. We'll sell the game for $110. Easy as that. And then if you want it shipped, it would be an additional fee, which we're still working on because we don't know the weights of games before we get them. So
it's always an interesting mystery.
Yeah, I'm going way deeper than I planned on, but we have had people reach out from other countries. Hey, will you ship this to me? And the answer is absolutely. How much will it be? No idea.
An amount of money.
I just tell them, buy the game, say local pickup, and then when it arrives, I'll bill you for the shipping, and we'll figure that out. So hopefully that works out for now, but we'll see. Anyway, what I just got online was Frosthaven, which is the next Gloomhaven essentially, but now it's in Frosthaven, and it's all snow. It's another gigantic box. It's $160 retail. We have the Kickstarter version, which I believe will come with some stretch goals and stuff like that, and I believe it's $130. There's also a lot of add-ons you can get, like solo scenarios. You can get there's like some coins. There is I'm really blanking on this stuff. I look at this stuff all day, and then it's like
the list is massive. While looking for pictures,
there's another. Oh, the stickers. They made another removable sticker set. So if you've beaten Gloomhaven, I bravo, or finished Gloomhaven, I should say. I don't know if that's even possible.
It's not.
But if you need more Gloomhaven, this is the next big thing, is Frosthaven. So.
Well, and there's a whole mechanic with because you're building up a fortress and you've got to maintain buildings and it'll attack sometimes.
I'm assuming it's going to add more things. There's like a cool looking Yeti on the cover, so I know there'll be Yetis in the game. And that's enough for me when you think about it. I like Yetis.
Real quick question.
My wallet doesn't like minis. Yeah.
So we had a question as you are currently reading. Our good friend King Wispy, which is a great name, was asking about.
Are we kickstarting the Anarchy X-Pack expansion? I don't know what X-Pack is. Maybe I missed that.
But this actually brings up a good point, and please answer that at your leisure. But
that's my answer. I don't know what that is.
That's fair. So if people had games that they think are a lot of fun.
Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Oh, it's the expansion we were just talking about.
The Fractures of Time. No, we already have it in store. We have it. It's $49.99.
Oh, Anachronate. I'm bad at reading.
Yeah, it just showed up yesterday, I think, 2 days ago. So it's on the shelves, ready to go. We didn't, like I said earlier, we didn't get as many as I wanted to, and I didn't get the Infinity storage box. Again, kicking myself, but we do have the Fractures of Time expansion. I'm hoping there will be a chance to get that stuff later, but I really don't know. So anyway, sorry, what were you saying, Rob?
So my question was, if there is a game that maybe, say, someone missed the Kickstarter for it, or they're interested in wondering if you're looking to kickstart it, is there a way for them to get a hold of you to be able to ask about that?
So right now, that's something I want to work on still. Okay. I don't have a great way. The best thing is we have an email set up specifically for this. I don't know if you want to type it in there, but it's just zulusgames.ks@gmail.com, and it basically just comes to me. The only reason it's not just going to my email is so I can keep it separate and know that it's Kickstarter specific only. And that's a good way for you to ask if we're backing something. And for the most part, if it's a smaller project, that we probably didn't back it, so you're probably safe to back it on your own. But if it's a bigger AAA title that everyone hears about, there's a bigger chance we're backing it. They also have to have a retail version. Some companies, especially European ones that have like lots of miniatures, they don't really give you much of a discount. They might give you a 5-10% discount or nothing, and so it's harder for us to get those. So it's not like a normal distribution chain where it's just like, yeah, they have everything. Basically, it's a little different, and there's been a lot of trial and error with that. And so my goal is to take it to the next stage. So I plan on, basically for you watching, check our pre-orders and keep up with that, and then you can email us to ask about games if you want. And then at some point I'm going to get up somewhere on the site probably a list of just probably all the games that we have backed. If like, I want games that maybe they're not even on our site for sale yet, but like, here's the games we're backing. Because sometimes, basically, when I back a game, I can't sell it yet until like their campaign ends or their second campaign ends or whatever it is. So there's a lot of the rules are different, but I can still show that we'll have this game at some point. You just can't buy it yet or pre-order it even. So it's a little more complex. And we're still fleshing out the details, but like I said, I got Frosthaven up today. I also got Oath. What's it? Oath, Chronicle Empires of
Empire and Exile.
Chronicles of Empire and Exile. So this is the new game from the guys that did Root and Vast. I don't know.
Wait, the same people that did Root did Vast?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, they all have that similar art style. Do you have any other pictures of this, or just the box?
I was only able to grab that one.
Okay, that's fine.
Last minute.
Because it doesn't really show you a lot about it, but there are more like weird-looking animal creatures in it. It's got more of those wooden meeples. They look a little bigger than Root. It has a lot more cards than Root. Like their Kickstarter, if you check out the Oath Kickstarter, it actually shows the difference between Root and this game, and like the box is way bigger. There's way more cards. Like everything, you just get way more. Like the board isn't even, there's not even an option to buy a neoprene mat. The board just is a neoprene mat. Like they just said, screw it, we're doing that. And that was probably an unlocked stretch goal or something. I'm not sure. But it's cool. And it folds out. It's kind of a longer board. So this one looks more intense. I don't know if it's Legacy, but it sounds like it's Legacy because it sounds like things in the game actually carry over to the next game, like your decisions and stuff. And you don't want to take these games lightly because they're super cute looking and this, I don't know, just a really adorable art style, but they're super hardcore. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Says hello.
Hello, Spencer. On what? On Twitch?
No, on Facebook.
Oh, hey, Spencer.
Sorry, that was. I didn't know. He said hello a while ago, and I didn't know when to sneak it in, so I snuck it in.
Yeah. No, just interrupt the show. So, this is Twitch Cat.
Yeah.
Twitch Cat.
That's Twitch.
This is Twitch Cat.
Twitch Cat.
So.
I backed Vast back in the day, and I really love the asymmetry of it. And Root has that same asymmetry.
Every faction has a different way to win.
Every person that's playing their game is going to be very different mechanically. So like in Vast, like the dragon has to eat things to try and get rid of stuff, and he does his actions by playing cards, whereas the knight has a dice and they're doing other things. Yeah. And the goblin player is literally 3 tribes of goblins.
That's exactly how Root is. Some factions have a ton of units, and some factions have literally one guy. The Vagabond is just one guy going around, but he's the only guy that can get equipment and certain buy cards. It's pretty cool, like the way
and they're very well balanced.
Every single thing has a different way to win. So they're pretty cool. But like as I was saying, they're not, even though they look like they're cute and for children, they're not at all. Like they're very, I don't want to say adult oriented, but for grown-ups, like they're hard. You know. They're not just like an easy little
Don't take them lightly.
Yeah, exactly. So, but they're super thought out, really well made, and I think Oath is going to be no exception. I really think this game's going to be awesome. Just with the little time I looked at it. What else we got? Oh, okay. Return to Dark Tower. This has been on our site for a while, but I wanted to give an update on it because it was supposed to come out this month. Also, just Oath was supposed to come out this month too. Oath has been delayed until Q2, which I need to update, but Oath has been delayed until Q2, so probably April, May, as opposed to this month, which it was initially supposed to come out. And Dark Tower was supposed to come out next month. It is now coming out, I believe, in July. And the reason for that, for both of these, is one, manufacturing issues, which pretty much every Kickstarter game has hit over the last year due to COVID and other issues. Just getting things made is just taking longer. And also just, these guys, the nice thing is they don't have a deadline, so they want to make things right. Like, they want their backers to be happy, but they want things to be right. I mean, I have games back personally that I should have got a year or more ago, and whatever. I just want to get it at some point, and I want it to be good. That's the most important thing. I think everyone would agree that you'd rather get a game and have it be right than get a game earlier and it doesn't feel good. So, they do these tests and stuff. They play tests, they do component tests, and it's like, hey, we made the box, it turns out it's kind of crappy, or whatever I'm saying. Like, they want to make things right. So it's as simple as that. They're not delayed because the game is bad or something and they're trying to fix it. It's more usually production delays, and maybe they found some errors in the rule book and they need to change them. So, whatever. But yeah, so Return to Dark Tower, been delayed until the summer. But this is also by Restoration Games, who did Fireball Island remake. Now they've done the Dark Tower remake. Matt's actually had hands-on experience with this game. He hasn't played it, but he got to see it at I don't remember. No, I don't think it was Essen. Some before, but he did. I don't remember where he went, but he got to have hands-on experience. He got to actually see the tower, and he said it was like a really solid quality. Like, they had the old tower there, and it's just straight out of the 80s looking. And the new tower is like way more quality. So that was pretty cool. Oh, thank you. So anyway, Dark Tower, we got that on our website. It's got a couple options. There's 2 pledge levels for, like, if you just want the game or if you want everything. And then what I try to do is put a couple bundles on there where if you want to just get everything. Sometimes there's a bigger discount, sometimes there's not. Sometimes I can't have a bigger discount because the company literally says you can't sell it for cheaper than this. So I'm limited to that. But on the other hand, you can also buy this certain thing. So say you backed a game and you're like, you know what, I backed the game on Kickstarter and I didn't back any of the expansions, and even though I could, or maybe it's too late, you can't change your pledge manager at that point. You want to help us out, or you can get the expansions through us, make that easy if that's an option. Or if you just totally missed the game, you can do it. Or you can just say, hey, I want to help my local game store, or I don't want to deal with shipping, I just want to be able to come pick it up when it's here. Any reason you can think of. I think it's a really cool way for us to bring these games to our store and for you guys to be able to get them. So,
and you don't have to pay for them until you have it in your hand, correct?
So the way it's going to work, if you're a customer, basically, if you won't pay for the game until we put it up. So basically, again, that will be probably a month or plus after the campaign ends before we can actually make sales off it. We want to have them on the site and say, like, coming soon, but you can't buy it yet because they won't let us. Or I'd have the same, if I'm making sales the same day while they're running their campaign, they would not be happy with that, and they probably won't sell me the game. So yes, you can basically pay later in the way, like, you don't have to pay on their deadline. Hey, maybe the campaign ends and you're like, you know what, I don't get paid until the week after it ends, so I'll buy it through Zulu, screw it. So you'll have an amount of time which is going to be different for every game, so I can't just say, hey, it's a month or 3 months or 5 months, because I don't know. But basically we'll have a pre-order price, and that pre-order price will be the best price we can get you until our pledge is locked in. Once our pledge is locked in, then the price will most likely increase, depending on how many orders we've gotten and stuff like that. It just depends on the stipulations or the circumstances of everything. So once our orders generally can get locked in a little bit later than most people, most customers, and we can generally get the same things. I have seen a few times where there's some things we haven't been able to get that other people can. Also, the big one I've seen is they'll have add-ons. Like, sometimes they'll have sleeves or tokens, and they're the exact same price as if just another person bought them. And I don't mind buying that stuff, but it usually helps if someone tells me they want it, because it's like, if it costs me $30, I'm gonna sell it to you for $30. That's fine. Don't care about making the money. I just want to know that I'm ordering it because someone wants it. So, like I said, there's a lot of weird things to hammer out. But we're doing the best we can, and feedback is great. So, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions about Kickstarter or how this works? I'm trying not to make it too confusing, but I'm pretty sure I am. So
no, I think honestly, it's good to know that this is an option because like I've definitely run into that situation where I'm just like, I could back it, but I don't know if I'd be able to back it the level I want to.
Well, and you also, you know, you're like, man, I have 3 weeks to back this game. Do I want to? I don't know. Like, I've definitely been in the situation where you're like, this is awesome. I don't want to spend the $300 it costs. I mean, some games can cost a ton, or maybe it's $100. I don't know, but maybe you're not ready, and then you're like, you know what? If I could buy it 5 months down the road for the same price, I'd be way more in. I mean, it's just how it is. Or you don't have to deal with shipping. So say maybe you bought a game and it was damaged, then you kind of have to deal with the company and maybe send it back. It might take a while. Yeah. With us, if it's damaged, we'll take care of that stuff and we'll just give you a version that works. You know what I mean?
Clean, good.
A nice, clean version. I mean, there might be a small dinger on it. I don't know. I can't help everything. We get damaged games as well, but I mean, the point is, like, I'll get you a nice box, and a nice clean game, the best I can. It's not going to have, like, a big old gash in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we have the
There's a mild scratch on the side of this game that you can see if you hold it just like this. Yeah, that's not... Sorry.
I'm not saying you sounded like you were talking from experience, but you have had that conversation with someone.
Well, part of my job is to deal with online customer service at times. So...
Yeah. I certainly didn't.
Might be a little salty.
Anyway, yeah. So no, I think the thing that's nice about this is we have this sort of logistic.
My wife has joined us. Sorry, go ahead.
It's because we are, slightly, we're a little bigger. We can deal in sort of larger volumes. That makes it generally easier for us to manage things like this.
Yeah.
We can take more risks. Obviously, we don't want to. And very importantly, we can help make sure that things get funded so that you can get the games in front of you.
Yeah, and my rule of thumb, too, is if people bring games to me and say, will you back this game? I honestly don't usually care what it is. Again, they have to have a retail version, which you can yourself see in there. It says retail, proprietors only, whatever, brick and mortar. It'll say something like that. But if you email me and say, hey, you're going to back this game, if you say, hey, myself and 2 or 3 of my friends are interested in this game, are you going to back it? There'd be a way bigger chance I'd back it. Because like I said, I usually have to buy a minimum of at least 6. And if I buy 6 and I have one person that wants to buy it and no one else wants to buy my other 5 copies, it's kind of hard to do. Yeah. But if it's a bigger AAA game, it's like, yeah, well, there's tons of interest in this game, so...
Well, and you can't be on all of Kickstarter. Like I
can't be. No, it's true. And I'm trying to do a lot more money into the games I back, and instead of getting 6 or 12 copies, get 24, 30, 50, you know what I mean? Like, get more copies of the games that are going to do, that more people are going to want.
Yeah. Battletech is a great example of a game
Battletech did great.
That did great, but because we were able to back it, we could get the product on the shelf, and that stuff flies off the shelf.
Battletech has definitely done really well. So, hey, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for everyone for watching. Yeah. There's only a little bit of time left. We're kind of going over time, actually. Matt didn't ever show up, so I'll have to call him and see what's going on there.
Dead.
I don't know, wouldn't imagine he's dead, but...
He's a hardworking guy. He just got to talking about something and lost track of time.
Who knows? There could be a kitchen issue or something he has to deal with. But,
yeah.
Hopefully he'll be here next week. But I was going to have him here. I kind of went long on Kickstarters because he didn't show up. I was going to have him come in and kind of talk about the new year, upcoming plans for Zulus. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't really know all the plans. But what I do know is if you're local, especially with COVID rules, those are changing, or they just weren't changed.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe reread those. I think we're trying to do what we can. Indoor seating is not really a thing yet, but it sounded to me like we're going to be able to have people based on up to 6 per household. I'm not really sure. I don't want to say anything because I don't know officially, but I do know that we will be working towards having some kind of spaces for people to play, whether that be outside or inside. We do still have our patio open, even though it's pretty cold, and the fireplace only has about a 2-foot radius that actually does something. But it is available, and we are very thankful for everyone who's helped support us through this and help us get through this year. I hope that you guys and your families are doing this. I hope that even though it was, again, a very small amount, I hope the stimulus that some of us have gotten is helping. Hopefully people are getting that. And just, we're still here and we're still working through this, and we're not going anywhere at this point. So
we've dug ourselves in well enough that it'll be hard to get rid of us.
We're trying to grow, and honestly, I don't know. Hey, what's up, Big Nate? I wanted to say as well. Well, maybe you should talk about this more, but you did mention the D&D streaming. I believe we're trying to escalate that, from what I understand.
Now that
to have more sessions.
Yeah, so we're starting to have more offerings. I have, over the course of the last 9 or so months, we've learned how to do digital D&D. It was an interesting learning experience, but we've ironed out most of the kinks.
Via streaming. So the DM. So if people don't understand, you got your DM on stream, or you have the DM has all the characters, and he has the terrain and everything, and he controls all that stuff, and then the players have their character sheets at home, and they tell the DM what they want to do basically.
For the digital character sheets.
Okay.
And because I've amassed many books, and I have the subscription that lets me share books, I can basically host people's characters, which makes things nice and easy. And yeah, partially because I need to begin transitioning to afternoons, and partially because I'm not needed here in the warehouse nearly as much. We are opening up more adult. Normally we do young adventures.
A lot of kids, yeah.
Yeah, but now we're looking into doing adult games.
Grown-ups.
On the 6th and 7th, we're going to be doing a one-shot weekend. I'm still ironing out the details, but I will have more information about
What is a one-shot weekend?
So a one-shot weekend is essentially people can come in, not to come in. They would participate.
They cannot come in.
No, they cannot. They will participate in a self-contained story. These will probably be 2 hours long.
Okay.
You are given a pre-made character. You are given a scenario. It's essentially like an interactive movie. Whereas a normal D&D campaign
it has a start, you play through it, it has an end, and then it's done. You're done with that character.
Yeah. It's a really fun way to have kind of like a low stress, low stakes kind of dive into it. If you've never played D&D, this is a perfect time to give it a go. I
don't know if there's been talk, but I thought even streaming other role playing games like maybe Alien or Witcher or
I've actually the West End games, Star Wars,
Shadowrun or Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk Red is
I think
so much easier to read than
I think that'd be cool having intros to those games. Absolutely. I also thought it would be really cool, like if you have friends that are, like if you're at home and you're like, oh, I've always wanted to play with my buddy Dave, but he lives in Nebraska. Well, guess what, Dave, or Dave's friend?
We're going to make it happen, Captain.
Problem solved. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, also, Nate brings up a really good
point. If they have internet in Nebraska. I don't know.
Sorry,
Nebraska.
Nate brings up a good point. So if you are interested in doing D&D that's not necessarily hosted by the Zulu's DMs, if you go to the Discord, you can hop on there, you can find groups. It's a great way to keep connected with the community. If you go to zulusgames.com, you go to community, that'll be one of the tabs up on the top, and scroll down, there will be a link into the Discord. If you've never used Discord before, there are tutorials out there for you. But essentially, it's a great way to stay connected to the Zulus community. You can see what's available. So I'd recommend if you would like to play and you're looking for a group, that would be the best place to do it.
There you go. I'm sure we'll have more on that to come. I could keep throwing out random ideas that we should do, but none of them are set in stone yet.
Everything that you said so far is just like, that's more stuff on my plate.
Yeah, so I'm just coming off stuff on the cusp. I have no idea. None of this is like come to fruition yet.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I think there's a lot we can do. Like D&D streaming is not just because of COVID and we can't. I mean, that's why it happened. But I'm saying there's a lot more we can do to it than just because we can't leave our houses. Like, there's so many cool things we could do with it. So we're trying to grow that, and we'll see where it goes.
It's happening.
And we're not trying to grow. We are growing it, and you know, the community's growing. People clearly have a need, so we're doing what we can to provide that need, and that's kind of how we do things. If there's a community that wants to do these things, we will provide that service, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't see any other comments or questions on here. to answer. So if there's nothing else,
yeah, I think we are a well productive.
Way over time of what I usually want to go, and I don't know if anyone's even watching anymore, but still, I appreciate it.
and you know what? They'll watch it afterwards. Actually, I've been looking at the numbers. People do watch these even when they're not live anymore.
That's fantastic.
Right? Thanks for being involved, guys.
All right.
And you stay safe out there.
Hey, stay safe. Stay safe, everybody. What's our sign-off? We need a sign-off.
We really do. We'll call that good.